We had a couple questions that have been brought up about pitching and talking about how their coaches have told them, hey, you know what, drive more off your back leg or drive harder into off of your back leg. And you know what, like we got to take it back to understand that all velocity is not created just on your backside. We also need to stabilize our front leg and get into front leg extension. So we're going to talk about that today and help you better understand that it's not just all back leg drive.
Yeah, so a couple of our athletes have come in and their coach of either their high school team, their college team, or their scout team has said, okay, like in order to throw harder, you need to push off the rubber more intensely. So, and first, the question I always ask is, did you ask why? Or did they explain why? We can go into that on a whole nother topic. But I ask that because the force we put in through our back leg or our drive leg is not a pure determinant of how hard we throw or what our velocity is. A better determinant of how hard we're going to throw, and that has more of a positive correlation than our back foot, is actually our front foot, right? Because we could drive as hard as we want, but if we can't stabilize that force with our landing leg, it doesn't mean anything, right? So that's why we see that there's some guys that have really, really strong push-throughs or good ground reaction forces with their back leg, but they don't throw as hard as some guys that push less hard, but those guys that throw less hard are stabilizing way better. Okay, and there's an NCBI article that states that they had a study where there was 13 college pitchers. Okay, the average velocity for all of them was 78 miles an hour. So nothing really to call home about, right? It's fast, but it's not MLB fast. And those dudes recorded that the ground reaction forces through their front foot were 242% of their body weight. So what does that tell you? You have to be able to stabilize on one foot 242% of your body weight. And you have to be strong. You have to be strong. You have to be able to stabilize that force coming out of your back foot, or none of it's going to transfer into actual velocity. Would you agree?
Yeah. And to be able to stabilize into front leg, you got to be strong through your posterior chain. You got to be strong, not just quad dominant and your core and your chest, but you got to be strong through your calf, your hamstring, your glutes, right? Your lats, all the way up. Because everyone's like, oh yeah, you know what? Quad dominant. You know, we're gonna squat, we're gonna do this. But you have to understand that when you're into that single leg position, you need to be able to stabilize your body, just like Aaron mentioned.
Yeah, and then another thing we also need to talk about is that this movement isn't even taught, right? So everyone focuses on drive, but I see a lot of our athletes have very passive front legs. It's like they don't even know that they need to be bracing up. So that is also a thing that we'd like to bring to the master, that yes, when you are pitching, you have to bring your knee into extension. You can't have flexion, so you can't have a bent knee going into release. You need to extend into release. And what this does is it increases hip rotation speeds, and it makes your chest fly out that much more, which creates more external rotation, which creates more velocity.
And it's better for your arm too. Instead of releasing out in front, like people say, oh, release out in front, which we talk about in previous videos.
Kills your arm. Releasing out front kills your arm.
So this not only helps in velocity, but it helps protect your arm. And we don't really have any of our athletes come in who understand this kind of idea or concept. That should be one of the first things taught. Actually, what should be taught before that is being strong and being able to stabilize your forces. So you can't really even start going into this too much unless you have a strong base and you're able to stabilize and get into that extension.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, and if anyone has questions, please reach out to us, because this is something that needs to be done and talked about. You can call us, text us, email, reach out to us on our social media, baseball specific training, because this is something that needs to get out there. And for pitching,
it's not just about the back leg.
It's not about back leg. It's sequencing as well, which we'll go into at a further date. But you need to be able to stabilize and get into extension on that front leg. And to do that, what do you need to be? Strong to do that. So please reach out to us. We're really trying to get this out because we've seen it over and over and over, which we've been in this for a little while now, and we really see this as an issue, and it's not talked about. So please reach out. See you guys soon.